Morning everyone. Today I'm going to try to experiment with Sgraffito. And here's an example of Sgraffito. It is a redware body with a white slip added to it, and then the artist comes back with a tool and scrapes the slip off to give you a two-tone palette. And then that's fired and glazed. This particular piece was bought from a local craft fair, and it was made in 2021. And I talked to the artist that made this, and she's using modern clay. She said that most artists today will not use or don't use a primitive clay like I'm using, mostly because of the cost. It's not, by the time they actually go gather the clay, process the clay, do whatever they need to do to the clay to get it to work, and still not be a superior product, it's much cheaper just to buy, commercial clay. But since we're doing this as an experiment, I'm using my backyard clay, and I'm just gonna see how it might have went back in the 18th century. So this is a small piece of clay. I actually have the other piece drying out right now that I'm going to use in the rest of the video. But I just wanted to show you how simple this is to make a plate. And all I'm doing is taking a piece of clay, rolling it up in a ball, smashing it out, and then I'm putting it on my, backer board. So I'm just that simple. And I'll show you in the next frame. Here's the clay that I just slapped down. I'm just going to wet the top because my hands, as I was playing with it, dried it out a little bit. So I'm just going to make it nice and smooth, both sides. There you go. My hands just made it all dried out. So I'm just going to take a wood block. They could have used a rolling pin, they could have used whatever, but I'm just going to get this nice and flat. And then I'm just going to take something round and place it over top. They would probably used a wood block that was round. Obviously, I'm just going to use a plastic cup here, and I'm just going to scrape around with my needle tool. They could have also done this on the pottery wheel. They would have basically just slapped the clay in the center, patted it down, and then as they spun the wheel, just dropped the needle, and it would have made cut out a circle. But I didn't want to get the wheel all messed up for this. I already tried that the other day, and I think this is simpler for people to understand. So there we go. We have a round shape now. Okay, and that's basically it. I mean, if you want to think of this as a coaster, you can. I got the plate drying, like I said. But from here, all I would have done was wet my fingers a little bit, gone through, smooth out the edges, and get rid of the little crumbs that came up. Get rid of all the little cracks that are showing. All right, and there you would have your coaster. If you wanted to make a plate, you would just take your rib tool and kind of go underneath of it to kind of raise that up a little bit. Just spin it around to bump it up a little bit. And this looks a lot better when you have a bigger plate, which you'll see in my when I actually switch over. Welcome back. I have my piece that I just created that seemed to have dried pretty quick, and I have my plate, which actually doesn't seem as dry as this. So I'm going to use this as a test piece to see how my slip goes on here. I could either use a brush, I could use a dip, or I could, kind of pour it on and pour it off. I think I'm going to try to just flip this over, dip it in the top like a cookie, and then flip it over and see how that works. And then on this one, I think I'm going to, because this has a lip, I think I'm just going to use the pour it in method and then just kind of shake it to see if it will settle out. So here we go. Again, never done this before. I'm just going to see how it works out. And okay, so there is my coaster. That seemed to be okay. And what I'll do is I will use the pour method on the plate. Move that off, just let that dry a little bit. And I'll just pour this in. Nice and slow. Let's try that for now. I'll just shake this around. I guess that's not going to work. I thought it would stay within that limb or that lip. So I'm going to have to see if I can get it to move around a little bit more. Use this to spread it out a little bit. Clean it off. Just see if we can. Oops. Looks like my water's getting. I think I should have stuck with the dip method. That worked better. All right, here's my finished plate. I had created a different plate, which was a much better plate, but it got a big crack in it, and I just have to go back to when I had started here. So I'm going to try this with my nail, and I'm just going to make a design. So let's just get started here. I'm going to cut it like a pizza, and because I like Halloween, I'm just going to make a spider web here. The nail seems to be working out pretty good. I think My clay is still not the right consistency to do this. I think I need to put more temper into it, but it seems to be working okay. I think I found out that painting the slip on works much better than the pour method that I had. I think with the pour method that I did, it was much too thick and therefore didn't really come off. Um, the one that I had started the other day, it just ate right through the whole thing. Right where I put the slip and a little bit of water got in there, and it just cut it right in half. So don't do that. And, I'm not great with designs. I'm not going to go to the trouble of this one because I don't think this is actually going to fire very well. But I'll try this little spiderweb design. And, just to see how it turns out. Hopefully tomorrow I can fire this. I just wanted to show you that, it does work. I think it's going to be fun for the kids at the camp. And as long as I can get some dishes made up ahead of time and get them coated, I think that's the key. And, let them just go in and draw whatever they want on it. I mean, this is pretty firmed up now. I feel pretty confident that, this might survive the firing. Here's the outside firing. I got the fire going already. See some smoke coming out the back. Some smoke coming out the chimney. So here's another shot of the kiln. I just wanted to show the fire coming up into that second chamber. And that this thing's going pretty hot. Yep, there we are at the open kiln. The plates did fire. Got a little bit of cracking here though. And this one turned out a little bit better. This one was the painted on with very light coats. So I think that's definitely the way to go. It doesn't have any glaze on it, but I'll have a spray glaze that I can put on these. Didn't really change colors much. I was surprised. These are just shelfware that I just put the plates on so they weren't touching the bottom. I'm happy with it. I think it would be good enough for the kids, and I think they'll get something out of it. Obviously, I can do better than this one, which I did is here. But even this one I can do better with, I think. I think I will polish these next time so that they're not so rough. And, maybe that'll give a better finish. As far as the coloring, obviously I can't get it up to the right heat to get this to change color. So I would probably try to use some sort of pigment to make this a different color. And, when I spray it with the spray glaze, that tan buff underneath there will turn a little more red. At least it has in the past. So, I might get something a little darker. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for joining along, guys.